Welcome to the Clean Power Hour Live, bringing you the latest in solar, wind, and battery news with Tim Montague and none other than the commercial solar guy. Welcome to the show, John Weaver.
Hey Tim,
Brother,
gonna
we're
go to
going to
RE
Vegas. We're
Plus.
going to
Yep,
Vegas, John.
going to RE Plus.
It's very exciting.
In let's see, it's Friday, so two nights. I leave
Yeah,
Sunday. I leave Sunday
you do.
morning.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Yep.
I leave
So
Monday morning. So we'll be in Vegas September 8th. Well, John will be there on the 7th through the 11th. I leave on the afternoon of the 11th. And this is, if you don't know what RE Plus is, it's the largest trade show conference for clean energy in the United States. There are larger conferences elsewhere, but anyway, it's a great convening of what, 50,000 people maybe this year,
no, it's gonna be more than that.
you think?
Absolutely. I think it's
Uh,
RE
and
Plus.
I spend most of my time on the trade show floor in booth V8470. V is for Venetian, with my friends at Chin Power Systems doing interviews with their customers. But I'll also be running around the trade show when I can grab a minute here and there, visiting other booths, always looking for cool racking modules, um, software, other power electronic solutions, building management systems. You know, the thing that really is on my mind, John, is that we have to put it all together. We have to become energy consultants, not just solar professionals, right? And
Integrators.
so you've got, you know, smart devices and turning your building into a battery, controlling the HVAC system, controlling the battery, controlling the solar to attack your power bill, and hopefully offer some level of resiliency. That's the dream. But what are you looking forward to about RE Plus?
Walking around the floor for the first time. I'm going as a buyer of hardware for my company.
Mm-hmm. What kind
And
of
at the
hardware are you
same
looking for?
Well, just like we have a portfolio of about 4 megawatts of rooftop and 600 kW ground mount. That's going to be agrivoltaic. So I need racking. I might be using Helene modules. Really like them. They have good domestic content product.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the inverters, I'm not 100% which direction on. I'm thinking about using the N phase, but that's a little expensive for big rooftop projects. However, to get me domestic content that I want without a risk.
Mm-hmm.
Need some racking product. I've been thinking about this interesting concrete product, Sun Ballast, based, at least they manufacture up in New Hampshire. Got to see their facility where they make the product, so it's kind of neat. So just looking at stuff. I mean, I know all the names. KB racking we use a lot. Unirack we use a lot. Agrivoltaic stuff. I've never really purchased a thing yet, but so
Well, when you say
working through it.
agrivoltaics, there's
Yeah,
so many options there. So, what do you think, though, that you're looking for?
yeah.
I did interview Solar Geek or Solar Geek
They've quoted this project,
at the
so
Solar
they're on
Farm
the
Summit. They've got
yeah they're on the
an
list,
elevated tracker. I liked
and
it.
that's what I want specifically, elevated tracker,
Okay.
because within the Massachusetts Smart Program, to be agrivoltaic, you have to be elevated. I think 10 feet above. And there's an adder for using a tracker. So I'll pay more for a tracker and maximize it and get some good revenue out of the system. So that's we're just we're at the very beginning of it, working through finance, putting together a
And
portfolio teaser of the projects.
what is the
So
dual use? Is that known? What the dual use will be?
well, currently they grow corn and then various gourds at this particular portion of the farm. So there's two different fields.
Hmm.
We specified that we were going to use one chunk of the field. They say they're going to probably move the gourds there and not do the corn there, and they'll have the corn at the upper field. But that's actually part of the discussion to start having a little more complexly right now. We're working toward it. So and then also I want to be there as somebody who's not only a hardware buyer for our own projects, but I want to sales pitch my own company for the first time. If I see a developer, hey, you're looking for a small EPC. in Mass, Rhode Island. We have the ability to get a few more bodies consistent in the field. So
Yeah.
working. This is the first time I've done that as my own company. I mean, I'm still writing for PV Mag, and there's so much cool gear, and I just want to walk around and see new stuff. Thinking about doing a 5-minute interview format where I just like do a quick recording, say, "Hey, what's up?" and then we go
Yeah.
back and forth. And I don't know. I just want to talk to the people on the floor. There's so much going on. It's a complex time. So RE Plus is cool. And you know what? You're right. I looked it up. It is 40 to 50 Gs, 40 to
Yeah.
50,000 people. So
Yeah.
that's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people, and it's a little overwhelming, but just be curious, be open-minded, plan some meetings, but leave some unscheduled time to walk the show. The show floor is really interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing, of course, many people that I already know. I want to give a shout out to Celestica in booth V3020, Venetian Level 1. That is a software design tool that I heard the commercial solar guy is using.
We use Celestica.
Have you heard of Celestica?
I've been using Celestica for at least a year. I
Yeah.
know this because I just had to and I have to send them a document back. Uh, I know this because I just had to re-up for my second year, and
Yeah.
maybe we had a first year, so maybe even 2 years, but at least one full year we've been using them for their product. So
So
they're good
if you
product.
don't know about Celestica, that's a design tool. And so it's a competitor of helioscopes, but they're doing a lot more, and they're taking on PV Cyst. They have a big announcement on the 8th or 9th, so look for that and check them out in booth V3020. But I want to give a shout out to a couple other clients of mine and sponsors of the show. Omco Solar for all your racking needs. They have trackers, they have fixed tilt. They're very good friends with Sunzon, another sponsor of the show that makes vertical bifacial racking, which I'm sure John Weaver's familiar with, although I don't know. Have you ever gotten a quote on a Sunzon
I
project?
have not, but I do know them.
Yeah,
I have written about their product before with PD Mag. There's a
yeah,
project or two that
yeah,
I got to cover, but I've never quoted a vertical. I so totally do want to though.
yeah. I too wrote a story about Sunzon and strawberry farming recently for PB Magazine.
And I read
Uh,
that.
Helga Biernath is the CEO. He's not exhibiting, so you have to reach out to me or John to find Helga, but he'll be walking around, and he's a jolly guy. He's a great guy to know. He also has a installation company called Sunstall that does DG ground mount installations all over the place. I think he's worked in 40 states now.
Cool.
Um, but some other people I'm looking forward to seeing: Mark Palmer and Aaron James with Conductor Solar. That's a solar finance marketplace, and they're just walking the show. Watch.io V3525 on level 1. That's a performance monitoring platform. Yourself, John Weaver. How are we going to find John Weaver if you're just wandering around, John?
Well, there is a booth for PV Magazine, and so you might see me there, but no, you won't. If you want to find me, just message on Blue Sky or look for the large shiny head that'll be cruising around because
I love
because
that. Look for the
yeah,
large shiny head.
yes.
That is awesome. Well, if you message John on Blue Sky or me on LinkedIn, I will help you find John too. I am officially John's uh, concierge. So,
Perfect. So yeah, so it'll be a cool show. I'm looking forward to it. I just it's kind of neat this year to go with 3 different hats instead of mostly just a PV Mag guy who's an industry guy learning stuff, but not really doing business there. But this year I might make a handshake that's a real business opportunity. So it's kind of
yeah,
cool.
right on. And then one last shout out. This company is exhibiting in V3648 on level 1. Dina Watts, another performance monitoring platform. Dan Leary, OG in the industry. I know you know Dan, and he's just a great guy, but he's also got a wonderful technology for monitoring your asset. If you're an asset owner, this is really your cup of tea. So check it out at RE Plus. And with that, we should move on to the news, maybe.
There's all kinds of news, dude. I put up like 20 things just for the sake of it. So you could like delete a bunch. But there's like all kinds of stuff always going on. Always going on. So
Yeah.
you picked the first one though. So this
Well,
one's
yeah,
yours.
I want to talk about this story out of Germany. German scientists create aesthetic solar facades achieving 80% efficiency. I'll get this on screen. And so, as you know, as our listeners know, by building integrated or BIPV is the bee's knees, right? It's an awesome thing because we have lots of buildings, and if you could clad them, whether it's a high-rise glass building or just an apartment building that's stucco today and tomorrow is solar panels, BIPV is the bee's knees. And so they've developed a technology for screen printing on top of solar panels so that you can give it color and texture. And it's all about making things more pleasing to the human eye, because some people don't think solar panels are the prettiest thing. They're pretty cool, I think, but I get it. You know, the architects want more flexibility to color and texture things, and that's what they're doing here. And Fraunhofer, this big tech institute out of Germany, um, Fraunhofer Institute for Electron Beam and Plasma Technology, there's a mouthful, has reached a major milestone in design PV, they call it. Okay, I like that language, John. Design
Design
PV.
PV. Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty hip.
So I
Um,
really like colored modules. There's a few companies that have tried. There's a few companies that make like custom modules. Uh,
yeah.
and I want to see more BIPV. The only negative I have in my emotions is that we don't build enough buildings. I guess we do. If we really could overthrow the building retrofit and work that's going on, then we could really get some volume up there. Like for instance, there's 5 million residential roofs changed every year was a number that was always thrown around. We could get rooftop building integrated product. If we could
Mhm.
get facades done, I'm working on a really big solar project right now in a residential and multi-housing, multifamily,
Yeah.
and the whole building siding, all 14, 18 structures are being redone. Man, that'd be a whole bunch of cool solar to add there. We'd be overpowering the site. We'd be beyond 100%. Now we're in the 80, 90% range. So I'm totally down with it. I just wish we were, like in Singapore or something, they rebuild their buildings every 30 or 40 years. If we were doing that, that'd be pretty awesome. Then building integrated, I think, would be much more massive.
Hmm.
Um, so
Interesting.
so
Yeah,
I like
I
it.
mean, I agree. Eventually, every building is going to have PV integrated because the sun shines everywhere, except for the extreme latitudes, Antarctica or the Arctic in the winter. Then you've gotten very little sunlight in the winter, right? It's dark.
Great.
But other
If
than that,
if that's
um,
the issue, if the issue is that we can't power Antarctica or the Arctic in their respective winters, then we have won. If that is our only issue that we cannot overpower, I will accept fossil fuels in those locations. How's that?
yeah.
We can do it.
All right, well, let's move on to this perovskite story.
Project of the week, Tim. Give it its due credit.
So,
This is a
China
five.
unveils 5 megawatt commercial perovskite photovoltaic demonstration base.
Yes.
All right, what's the story?
So this is the biggest perovskite project I've seen. I saw 1 megawatt before. This is now 5 megawatts.
Hmm.
It doesn't explicitly state which module this is, which technology.
Yeah, I
The
found that a little frustrating, honestly.
Well, yeah. I mean, the company has made a 26% tandem cell, so they do have a perovskite silicon tandem within their business line.
Hmm.
But this is what comes out sometimes. It just says perovskite, doesn't give
And there's an
anything.
ad here for a perovskite focused trade show,
Yeah,
Perovskite
well,
Connect.
this whole website, it's literally perovskite-info.
Oh, cool. It's a
Yeah.
perovskite news site. I didn't know this
Yes.
existed. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
awesome.
This is one of my favorites. I see all the solar stuff there, and they link back constantly to like PV Magazine and other stuff. So they're just perovskite folks, which is kind of neat. Which, there's perovskite people. They exist. So I'm just excited to see perovskite moving. It's still coming. The machines are still being developed. It seems to be getting better. It seems like we can deal with the degradation because literally sunlight makes perovskites break down.
Yeah.
So that's an issue because these are solar panels. But it seems like it's coming, and all the big companies have it. All the cool kids on the block have a big perovskite module, and so look at that. There's a perovskite book. I didn't even know that. So one reason I'm kind of I'm also positive on perovskites
Yeah.
is you see that long list of items across the bottom that aren't perovskite solar. The LEDs, you
Oh,
have
yeah. On the
all
website. Yeah.
those, yeah, all that stuff. So
Perovskite and
perovskites,
graphene, perovskite lasers, perovskite QDs, whatever QDs, perovskite LEDs. Yeah.
I think it's
What is,
quantum. So the
oh, quantum
LEDs,
dots. Yeah, maybe.
yeah, the LEDs and the quantum dots, those are really interesting because those are in TVs, and TVs are made in a similar manner as
Mm.
solar panels.
Hmm.
They're flat panels, lots of spraying of stuff,
Yeah.
and that's a big industry. And it's parallel to perovskites, just like lithium ion had laptops and cell phones to help
Sure.
move the technology along, a secondary revenue stream. Perovskites has multiple layers of intelligent beings staring at rocks. I mean, our lightning rocks, the rocks that we hold to the sky and they make power. I guess we're all just sort of kind of witch doctors, Tim, you and I. And
Well, we're bot wranglers is what we are, John.
I like it.
Before we get wrangled by the bot, we're bot wranglers. But
that's
those
that's it
the
first.
clock is ticking. We have about 5 years, I venture,
5, geez.
before we get wrangled.
All right.
But
So
what
I'm
do I
excited.
know?
I'm excited looking at perovskites. I like that there's potential. It's developing. There's concurrent research from different experts all around the world looking at perovskites. And bam, 5. That's the project of the week. Project of the half week, 2 weeks, whatever.
Cool. All right. Well, let's talk about drones and wind farms. Drone deliveries hit spot for Orsted. Cool photo there.
Yeah.
My first question, right?
Hmm.
Predict my first question, John.
Is that a real picture?
No, that was not my first question. My first question was, what is the carrying capacity of this
Oh, is it?
sky lift or heavy lift drone?
Scroll down a tiny bit. I think 400 kilograms. I
Okay.
think it's right in there. Or is that 700?
Weighing up to 70 kilograms.
Oh, 70. There we go. So a lot smaller.
So that's like a human being, right?
Yep.
2.2 pounds per kg.
Yep. 150, I guess.
Yeah, a small human.
Yeah, 154.
Okay,
So there you go.
that's cool.
Yeah. I thought what was neat is that 1 is that the turbines stay on. 2 is that you don't have people loading things on and off into this elevator.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really neat that they had 550 flights planned during a trip.
Yeah.
I haven't.
75 miles offshore. That's crazy.
Well, there's a boat that goes out. It's not a 75-mile flight.
Okay.
Yes.
The boat
Yeah.
is the platform that they launch from. I get
Yes,
it.
sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
sir.
cool.
And I've been seeing this ongoing. They've been doing this for a while. So now it's actually, doing stuff. So it's
Yeah.
just neat.
So I just want them to 10x the capacity, right? Because then they could lift like pallets of modules or racking or inverters or like really like construction grade materials, not just like some little,
Well, actually, so maybe by the time we move along, I shared a on Blue Sky, not here, but an article within the past couple of weeks about China. Let's do a quick search. China from
there it is, Blue Sky again.
commercialsolarguy.com. Heck yeah. That's where I put my news, man. That's how I track the knowledge that I disperse to the world. I gotta post it somewhere first and then slowly go back and see what's cool. So there's a project in China where they moved stuff up a mountainside and used drones. And here it is. Bam. I can get it into the document real fast for you. And it had some serious volume. And there's actually a little video in there. So with this project, they had 16 large drones carrying
Okay.
100 tons of steel and concrete up roads. Drones carry up to 420 kilograms, which is 925 pounds,
Yeah.
and 1.3 kilograms or kilometers at a time. So that's, I think, what you're talking about. This is the level that you need to do what you want. And
Oh,
this is big stuff. That's a big drone, man. Look at that thing.
are those are
Those are
turbines?
helicopters.
What are the poles that they're carrying?
Oh, well, I think it's for building wind. Let's see.
A
Oh, no,
wind
solar
tower?
farms. No, this is racking, solar racking.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, that's gonna be it. Maybe those are foundation. Maybe those are piles going into the ground. Those first big ones, those longer, heavy poles. But look at that. They're building solar on the top of a mountain. How much cheaper is that than building a road? Oh, look at that. That's just racking gear, man. That's
That's
all it
not your
is.
mom's drone. That's a beefy drone.
Yes, that's a big drone. You are right. But that's it. So yes.
Why are they showing the fixed wing aircraft?
Just to let you know that they'll blow you up if you talk too much. You know, just a reminder. Yeah, we can put some
Oh,
solar panels up here,
there
and
is
we could put
a
we could
dark
put them.
side to the drones for
Hey,
sure.
you said it like 30 seconds ago, man. 5 years, they're coming for us.
Yeah.
So become friends with the drones. Be nice. Say thank you to ChatGPT.
Yeah, I was wondering the other day, if they like have some kind of dashboard at OpenAI or these other LLM companies about how humans are treating the chat bots, right? Like, are they being kind or are they being abusive and that kind of thing?
They pay
Um,
attention. They actually comment that we say thank you so much that it costs tens of millions of dollars in electricity to respond to it.
oh,
So I've
yeah,
stopped saying thank
I've
you.
certainly trimmed down my language.
Yes.
I don't put question marks anymore on my questions because I know it knows it's a question.
Ah, that's good.
Um,
There you go.
but I don't know if I'm saving millions of dollars in electricity by doing that, but
You're helping. You're helping.
I'm saving my fingers from
Okay.
carpal tunnel, I guess.
So
All
the
right,
next one I thought was cool
Starry
because it's a
Stone Energy.
Starry Stone and energy. Well, it's Starry Stone energy storage product that is super cheap at a small capacity because it's buried underground. And so their thought is you don't need the same cost. You don't need the same fire
It's
protection.
a battery that's buried.
It buried there. So here's a showing of it. Pretty much you'll
Burying
put
anything is expensive, John.
labor is, cutting some ground is, digging a hole, a little bit of excavation, 10 grand. 10 grand to build a hole. And
All
then
right,
you drop a metal box in.
the story is ultra low cost battery storage launch provokes price war discussion at Shanghai trade show, August 21st. Okay, so I'm still not following. What's the story?
The story is somebody's got a cheap battery, $53 per
It's
kilowatt
lithium
hour.
iron phosphate?
Yes. And it's just underground. And that's what the story is. The story is creativity. The story is somebody has an idea, they
Mhm.
want to drop the price. I like the idea of putting batteries underground. I don't know if that's a good idea though. I just like the idea of it.
Why did it trigger a price war?
Well, the discussion is how did you get to such a low price with such a low product? And it's like, oh
What do
my
you mean a low
gosh,
product?
a small product, like $53 per kilowatt hour. That's smaller than the largest procurements for 2-3 years out that are gigawatt hours,
Mhm.
tens of gigawatt hours in size.
Yeah.
So this is the lowest battery price that's been out there for a lithium phosphate by far.
Mhm.
And it's And this guy's response is, listen, it's just because I've innovated. I have this battery 2 meters underground, low temp. It's not going to catch fire. My
So there's
different
no like
rooms.
space conditioning system. That's how they're making it cheaper. It's not actually the cells.
No,
It's
correct.
the full
Correct.
wrap.
It's the wrap. Correct. We are
Yeah.
saving on wrap. Correct.
Yeah.
That's the innovation that's occurring here. That's the creativity.
I
Less
mean that
stuff.
stuff can still catch fire underground.
Yeah, but it's underground. Who cares?
I mean, I guess if
Probably.
it's completely starved for oxygen, maybe it can't. I don't know.
It's interesting.
Um,
Maybe it can't go too far. So interesting idea. I was just thought it was creative. I was like, all right, I like that idea. Keep thinking, man. So
yeah.
cheap battery if you want to go underground. An idea that I've always thought should come about is that every cul-de-sac should have a little battery, have a little control system, and every house, not every house, but everybody that can gets a little bit of solar on their house.
Yeah.
Make yourself cul-de-sac level microgrids with the battery underneath the cul-de-sac. Seems kind of cool.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. So I like this idea. Battery underground.
All right. Well, you found a story about T1 Energy, one of my favorite companies.
Really?
They formerly known as Freyr Battery. Their origins are in Norway, and I had their former CEO on the show,
Cool.
but they were still at that time they were still planning a battery factory in Georgia. They've since
Mm-hmm.
scrapped that plan.
Yep.
They bought a 5 gigawatt solar panel factory from Trina, I believe, right?
I think, yes, I think it was Trina. Let's fire
Yeah.
Trina.
So
Yes.
they're all in on solar modules now.
Yep.
I don't know if they've given up the ghost on batteries or not, but the
Well, in the U.S., I think they have.
story says T1 Energy sells out 2025 solar module capacity after 437 megawatt deal. Increased interest post OBBBA drives T1 Energy's new agreements. Okay.
So it looks like for the year, they're aiming to be in the 2.6 to 3 gigawatt of modules sold,
Mm-hmm.
and they say they're sold out.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought that was cool.
Yeah.
That they're sold out. I haven't even seen their product in the market, so they're probably selling straight to utility scale people or something.
They're claiming 50% non-FEOC bill of materials.
All right. Well, they're also working on cells to do some work, I believe, to
They're
kind
they're
of
going to
expand
start
their line.
producing cells.
Well, actually, I have a cell
Yeah,
article right
solar. It
below.
says solar cell fab.
Yeah, there we go. Yes, I knew that they had something. So 5 gigawatt solar cell fab.
Yeah.
So that I'm sure that'll push their
Oh
FEOC
yeah, and
number further.
they've been in the news for their deal with Corning.
Corning, that's who I was thinking about. Yes, there it is. It's right there on the page. Jeez. So I just thought it was cool to see that they were sold out. I was happy to see it, and good luck. I hope they rock on.
Yeah.
That I'm annoyed that Trina had to sell their factory, but I get the politics. Trina got out. They did it fast, and that was good. It allowed this to move fast, and so
Mm-hmm.
I hope good luck with Freyr. I hope they get to that 5 gigawatt number. I want to see what kind of modules they sell, man. I don't really know what they sell, so be kind of neat. I guess we could look it up.
Yeah, go to their website.
T1
I'm sure it
solar
says.
panel.
I'm sure it says.
T1 Energy. So it's just neat. It's just nice to see them selling out, and good job. So they got some cool robots on their site. They got a TopCon module here. They have a
Really?
600 and a 400. Ooh, 600 watt. I like that.
Mhm.
Nice black, all black. Nice residential frame, 430. Been looking around 23% efficiency. All right, pretty solid. Good looking gear.
Oh yeah, I mean it's basically a Trina solar module, right? So
yeah, good product. So yeah, there you go. T1 Energy, they're sold out. So there's no point in calling them for this year, folks. But I'm sure next year they'll take some phone calls. But you got to buy about 100 megawatts at a time. That's not true. I don't know that at all. So good job. Good job, T1, and keep going. And so I kind of stuck on the US solar module line because I thought this was also really interesting. This is Fraunhofer again. So we get to talk about Fraunhofer. They're not just some research agency, Mr. Timothy Montague. They are the NREL of Europe, is who Fraunhofer is. They are wonderfulness. If I go to next time I'm nearby, I'm gonna go like lay up against their building. They might like call the cops on me or something, but they're awesome.
Oh yeah, very storied organization.
Yes. They did the first article I ever remember on agrivoltaics, and it's cool. So here,
So
Talon
you've got a
PV,
story:
yeah,
avoiding patent disputes. Fraunhofer ISE establishes Topcon pilot line targeting 4 gigawatt U.S. factory.
yeah.
That's
It's funny. The article didn't really talk about the patent disputes that much, or at least maybe I ignored them because I didn't care. Uh, but I just thought it was cool to see Fraunhofer and Talon putting together a 4 gigawatt cell factory because we need cells. We need solar cells. It's good to have the whole line, especially with the way the FEOC stuff and all those things go. I'm happy to see this work ongoing, even with manufacturing credits and domestic tax credits kind of getting hacked up a bit. So the motivation to buy domestically produced product that's a little more expensive
mhm.
goes away soonish. 2007, 27 for short-term buyers. Maybe
Yep.
long-term buyers can secure stuff before that. I don't know. Maybe there's some strategy where you can do that continuous construction thing. Um, so so I'm interested in it. I like seeing this new company showing up. I don't know much about them, but oh yeah, by the way, very very at the end they threw in a perovskite silicon tandem, so that made me really happy.
Mm.
Just always like to see that slip into stuff. So just interesting, very very interesting to me. That that there's still people growing, still stuff coming out, and so this is a good announcement.
Yeah, it says this factory's underway. When I was talking to Jigger recently, Jigger Shaw,
Hmm.
we dropped an interview with Jigger just this past Tuesday. So check that out at
Cool.
cleanpowerhour.com. He commented, I pushed back a little bit. He said, well, all the 45X incentives remain in place. That's the
Hmm.
manufacturing incentives
Yes.
in the IRA. And I was like, well, Jigger, there's been just a boatload of cancellation announcements. And he's like, well, yeah, if they didn't have steel in the ground, then they're having trouble raising money. But those factories that were already broken ground, then they're probably moving forward. But I don't know how true that is. It's an interesting perspective.
Well, I'm going to meet with Abby Hopper from SIA when I go to RE Plus, and one thing I wanted to talk about is firming up a better list of available domestic product because they do a pretty solid job of tracking it. I'd love for them also to supply a contact name for a salesperson with their list on their
Hmm.
website so that we can
Hmm.
say, hey, here's the modules. I want to go buy some modules.
Hasn't
Let's
Solar
find them.
Power World been very good about this tracking?
They have a good map. Maybe that's the place where I should look and get but I want a salesperson's name on the list. So maybe I could go bother Solar Power World.
Yeah.
But they definitely had a map too. So I just
And to
I
answer
just
my
want to see the product.
question,
Mhm.
it says here that so I went to Perplexity. That's my new Google. I just Perplexity everything now. I don't
Nice.
Google anymore. And it says they're building a factory in Houston, Texas. Smart place to build a factory. All the solar companies are based there, all the big ones anyway, right?
Hmm.
And other energy companies. It's the energy capital of the US. Um, so that's
That's
cool.
interesting. All right. Well,
Houston, Texas. I'm doing a lot of work in Texas, John. It's a hot market.
it's one of the biggest. It's the biggest. Let's rephrase that. It's
It's a
the biggest
very it's
solar
a
and
very hot
storage market
market,
in the US. Yes.
and it's
All right.
literally hot and getting hotter.
So all right, so that's actually that last thing that you said just kind of triggered a good thought in me.
Yeah.
They're going to Houston. They're surrounded by solar panel makers. They're surrounded by this, surrounded by that. Are we seeing? Are we beginning to see a hub of solar module manufacturing that's going to start to arise, in which we then start to see the natural arising of the subcomponent suppliers being in nearby regions?
There's definitely
Short
a lot of
trucking.
manufacturing going on in Texas when it comes to solar and batteries. Now, it's not just Houston, it's Dallas,
That's
it's El
fine. That's a highway.
Paso.
That's that big highway thing they got going on there, right? go 90 miles an hour in Texas. That's legal, right?
Yeah, I mean, having driven across Texas, it
Really
is a
big.
freaking big place.
It takes a
Um,
day. Takes a day to go east to west. So,
but but yeah, there is definitely a lot of manufacturing going on there.
all
And
right.
yeah, I mean, if I was going to do manufacturing in solar, I would definitely take a close look at Texas, but also Georgia. They want
Georgia, yes.
these factory owners. They want uh, quick ways to get things done. Building a factory, right? They don't want too much regulation. They want low wages for the factory workers. Um, Ready
Cheap energy.
access, cheap energy. It's a combination of things, right? Cheap land, cheap energy. I don't know how cheap the land is in Houston, but it's probably on the outskirts of Houston. Houston is the third largest city in America now.
Pretty good city.
I wouldn't
All
want to
right.
live there because of hurricanes, but and the humidity. It has really high humidity. I'm not fond of humidity. Do we want to talk about New Mexico?
It's a good energy storage story. So I like the concept of it.
Did you know I
Uh,
grew up in New Mexico, John?
I did not know that.
You didn't
That
know
means you
that?
know about green chili.
Oh yeah, I know all about Hatch green chili.
That's good. That's layers beyond my knowledge.
I grew up eating these sandwiches that my dad made with cheddar cheese, mayonnaise, and Hatch green chilies, and they're delicious. It's a great
Hmm,
combination. It's not really traditional New Mexico food. It's just something he made up. But
all right.
sopapillas, you can get a good sopapilla in New Mexico, which is really comes from the Native Americans. But you see this blending of Native American and Hispanic culture, right? And it's a unique cuisine. It's good food.
All right.
Beautiful place, aka the land of enchantment. Have you
And
been to New
now,
Mexico, John?
uh,
Come on,
yeah,
bro.
I don't think I've been to New Mexico. I think I've like touched it because I've been to Four Corners, so I know I've like
Oh, you
been next
have?
to it. Yeah, but I don't know if I've actually been to New Mexico.
The
So
day I went to Four Corners, it was closed. I couldn't
me
get
too.
into I couldn't get into the park there, but
It was for me too. But then I camped out. Went the next day.
all right, I'll put this on screen. New Mexico utility picks batteries over fossil fuels, it says. Ordering best retrofits for solar PV plants. Interesting.
They had the opportunity to pick a small gas plant as a peaker plant, and they were specifically looking for peakers.
Hmm.
And instead, they chose to deploy five 6 megawatt, 24 megawatt hour batteries. So I'm guessing 3 to 4 shipping containers spread across 3 to 4 shipping containers at 5 different sites. And so I'm just watching battery stuff, different capacities, different way they do things. And the reason this caught my attention is because I'm trying to get into batteries and I'm installing smaller size batteries. And so these batteries, 6 megawatts, 24 megawatt hours, lined up with a portfolio that I'm looking at and trying to get in, helping to develop, and then maybe constructing. So I am excited to see small distributed batteries. And it also triggers a different thought of how should solar plus storage or solar and storage be installed and deployed. I pay for the premium version here, so I get to read the whole thing. Sorry. Uh, and should it be DC coupled solar with like massive oversized DC to AC ratios? Or should it just be a bunch of solar plants distributed anywhere randomly and then a bunch of batteries distributed anywhere randomly, and they're all charging in the daytime because they have capacity and output requirements overnight? Or like how is this going to be laid out, or is it going to be a mix? And so with this one, we see a bunch of batteries being hooked up to solar plants using the same interconnection, I think, and just kind of, I don't know, rolling around in small little chunks. So
So they're
it was an
retrofitting
interesting.
batteries into existing solar projects.
Yes,
Okay.
instead of adding gas peakers.
Hmm.
And they're distributing them. And that's how they looked at it. They looked at this as a distributed
Yeah.
peaker plant.
Yeah.
That's just, it just triggered so many like, oh man, cool. And they're just, so Massachusetts and Rhode Island, along with Connecticut, all have a distributed battery clean peak type of program where if the state is allowed, and also Vermont, and I think New York, and I think it's growing, but it's a VPP, but it's on a distributed asset, like a 5 megawatt hour or 5 megawatt chunk. So
Yeah.
not like what you have behind your house, which is also a cool VPP. Sun runs at 5 kW each are awesome, but I'm the commercial solar guy. So, so I look at people's parking lots and I want to put, 2 or 3 shipping containers, and that's what's starting to happen. And I kind of like seeing this. This is the commercial solar guy scale, distributed level energy storage, and I don't know, it's cool.
Yeah.
So
All right. Should we do one more?
last one of the day. I wrote this one, Timothy.
The Onion of FEOC, Safe
That
Harbor and Tax Credits in PB Magazine by John Weaver. What's the story while I get this on screen?
So I spoke to really smart lawyers who I think were in Houston as well, in the middle of it, and in a cool building that had a nice view. But I spoke to Jenny Speck, and she's an attorney who focuses on tax credits and all energy tax credits. I came to learn because I at first I jokingly said, you must not do residential. That's going away. And she says, nope, I have some very big residential customers. My brain went toward thinking it was Sunrun, but
Mhm.
we didn't talk about any specific customers. In fact, when I jokingly asked about Fervo, because they do work with geothermal, I said, hey, do you work with Fervo? I said, I know you can't tell me. She goes, no comment. But she works with geothermal as well. So I do know that. But
So
really, yeah.
what is the onion reference?
So the onion is how there are layers in FEOC of the verification you have to do to make sure that everybody in the transaction is not influenceable by foreign entities of concern.
Mm-hmm.
So before, here's a comparison, and I brought it up when I was asking questions. We used to have to check out where our polysilicon was coming from for the Uyghur
Yep.
Protection Act. I said, hey, so is this FEOC sort of like that? She goes, yes, but times about 5 or 10.
Mm.
Because now you have to look at the bank that's giving you loans. You have to look at who's going to buy your tax credits, who's going to buy your depreciation, who owns the land that you're leasing from. As what, who within the project, what stakeholder could have influence and affect this. And so people who are doing $100 million tax credits, they are doing due diligence, layer, 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 layer. And so in this, if we scroll down a tiny bit, you can see the quote where Jenny Speck actually called it an onion. And then she goes into what it is. So I think a little bit lower than that. And but it's that we have these different layers of verification of things. So for tax credit buyers, you have to look at who's buying the credits, and yeah, ownership, debt board, lots of layers. So it's just that you have to look so much deeper and so much further to verify who is running this in order to get through FEOC. And that was, one of two big interesting things. I mean, there were a bunch of stuff, but FEOC was the big discussion. And
So
interesting,
this question you posed, how painful could FEOC compliance become?
yeah.
What's the answer to that question?
Well, you
Painful?
know what? Click on that link for an example. Actually, that link is from Bloomberg. Scroll down. There, I'm going to show you a chart. We're going to visually show you what painful FEOC is projected to potentially be. And this comes from Bloomberg. And that's painful FEOC right there, buddy.
Hmm.
This is the deployment of clean energy tech. So wind, solar, storage, everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's a painful tech. And that's heavily because of solar. The painful FEOC is showing utility scale going from solar going from about 50 to 60 down to 20 to 30. 50% drop if FEOC is painful. So that's that. So if FEOC is painful, expect a lot of people to get fired. 150,000 people will lose their jobs if that chart comes to be. Maybe 100. because these are going to be a lot of utility scale associated people. But that's what that chart. That's a 6-figure job loss if that chart comes to be.
Hmm.
So she says a lot of people are working on it really smartly. You know, we'll see. We'll see what FEOC brings. But at the same time, we see very strong solar through the end of 27. And because of certain things, it's actually in this article by Jenny, another item. This will be the last one. Continuing construction, a new concept I learned. And then I saw a manufacturer sales pitch it, game change solar racking. So really, really, really just intelligent people. I actually have a friend who works at Game Change. So it's in essence, if you start making customized parts that are specific for your factory, that is the beginning of construction. You have started your project.
Yeah.
And as long as you can show that you have pieced together, and Jenny taught me this during that conversation. So now we have Jenny Chase from BNEF and Jenny Speck. I can't say her law firm name yet, but whatever. So she said, as long as you can show concurrent, ongoing, third-party certified, if you really need it, construction, you have 4 years to finish your project. Get it done. And so if it takes you 2 years before you break ground because you got development stuff going on, that's fine. But put down your money, sign a contract. That's the key, she said. Document yourself. She's talking about it from a lawyer in which there may be an aggressive IRS. That's the wording I added. She's a lawyer. And so document it, work it, do your construction. That's how you can have your
Sign a
safe harbor.
contract by when?
Well, you missed one date. One date was July 4th this past summer. Another date was September 2nd. That date's gone now.
Mm-hmm.
The next date's going to be December 31st. The date after that's going to be July 3rd, 2026. So there's different dates of construction start stuff. But I think the last date, I'm not positive but it's in that email. But I do have lawyers now who have paid to teach me this stuff. But right now my
Gotta have
time frame is
lawyers, yeah.
shorter. My time frame is end of this year for my starts. I know there's at least 1 or 2 other deadlines after, but I think the big one is going to be July 4th, July 3rd, 2026. That's going to be like the last special deadline. So you can see a lot of stuff happen before then. A lot of documents get signed or not. Then we have that FEOC cliff of 2028. So save your money.
I think the industry is going to adapt to the post ITC world. And, utilities are faced with this onslaught of demand. They want to build the cheapest form of grid power, and that's solar, wind, and batteries. And yeah, the ITC has helped a lot, but I think that when you compare the speed at which you can deploy solar, wind, and batteries and the cost to natural gas or nuclear, you're going to go, yeah, we might go there, but then we're going to come back. So only time will tell. Only time will tell. The only for sure thing is that eventually we will have a 50% powered, solar powered grid. And so don't shy away from the solar industry. It's good to have some diversification of the services that you offer, as we have talked about many times on this show, but don't stop doing solar and batteries. All right, John, I'll see you in Vegas. Any chance you can come to Beer Park on Monday evening?
There's a chance. I've made 0 plans. I have like 2 or 3,
Yeah.
4 things scheduled total. So
Yeah.
Where is that? So well, we could talk about it. Is there a chance we do a show in Vegas? Maybe a 30-minute. Oh, you're booked because you're a busy guy. Hey, everybody, Tim Montague.
There's a possibility, but I don't know that I'll have the gear.
All right.
I'm just like recording with a video crew, so in the Chint booth.
Okay.
And if you come by the Chint booth, we could record.
Well, maybe that's what we'll do. Or something. So good. RE Plus is coming. I'll be around the floor.
Yeah.
I'm looking
We,
forward to it.
we could also record on our phone.
I was thinking the same thing, Tim. It's from the floor. It's RE Plus. It's live stuff, man. People are interested.
I have two portable mics I'll have with me. So, all right. I'll see you in Vegas, John. Let's grow
See you soon,
solar.
Tim.
I'm Tim Montague. Check us out on Clean Power Hour. And John, how on earth can our listeners find you?
Commercialsolarguy.com. That's the easiest way. And then I got an email address, I got a phone number, all those little ways to get in touch
Or go
with
to
us.
Blue Sky if you know
Blue
what that
Sky.
is.
Commercial Solar Guy on Blue Sky. That's me. That's me.
All right. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next on the 19th. That's our
19th.
next live.